We can see if anyone else is joining, and then we can start it. Okay, that's all right. I think we can get it started. So as you know, the kind of regular exercise what we do. So whenever we start the session, so we're just going to have a quick recap of what we discussed yesterday. Kind of on a high level, what are all the topics we discussed, and maybe kind of a bit detailing about that, so that whatever that we are going to discuss today, so that you can relate with each other, right? So with that note, let me share my screen so that we can pick up the curriculum, and then based on that, we can take it further. And here it is. I'm just opening that. So I could see Vinay is in the call. So Vinay, were you a part of yesterday's call?
Yes, I had joined it later on. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. So let me share my screen. Okay. So let me just. Okay, so initially what we have started with an ERP application overview, and we kind of discussed on this tab, like different ERP providers and some categories here. And what we have discussed yesterday is this. Okay. So these two are the modules that we are going to discuss throughout the entire training. And this is the tab we are in right now, where we are going to start understanding on each of the concepts here. So we started with a module called Core HR. And initially we have discussed about the overview of that. So and then we have started discussing on the user creation, because that is the first ultimate thing in order to get into the application, right? So let me go back to this presentation, what we had a discussion yesterday. So we had the discussion of the types of users. So where we have two different types, implementation users and the employee users. So let me go back to this Excel. Okay, so this is where we have started the discussion yesterday. So on a high level, we have discussed about what exactly the significance behind implementation of the employee users. Along with that, we have also discussed on what are all the different types of persons or the workers we have. So where we have four different types of workers, right? So we have pending worker, non-workers, contingent, and employees. And we also kind of understood the significance behind each of these terminologies. Okay, with some examples here, right? And the next thing what we have discussed yesterday is on three different self-services what we have in the system. So which is employee self-service, manager, and HR self-service. And also we kind of understood on what exactly the difference between these three different categories. Perfect. So let me move on to this presentation. So we have seen the application and also the navigation on how we can exactly create the user, which I have showcased it is in yesterday's class. So let me ask you this question. So were you able to go through the application and create your own user? Anyone?
Yes,
First of all,
created.
okay, you have created it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me just take out my headset. Okay. So everyone know if you got the application access? So Harish, Vinay, Amit, you got the application access?
Pawan, I don't have that link yesterday. I didn't copy it properly. In the Zoom chat, I think you shared in the Zoom chat, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so I don't have it. That is the reason I unable to create the user.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just share the URL across with every one of you right now, maybe after
Mhm.
this class. So what you
Yeah.
can do, the first thing what we have discussed yesterday is create your own user, okay, with your first name, last name, your email and everything. And try to modify the user categories, what we have discussed yesterday. So your username, right now it is like first name dot last name. So you can also modify to that saying that your email should be your username. So try to play with that around in the security console so that when you do that kind of practical stuff, so it will be easy for you in the interviews to explain them, right? So that is the kind of case study which we have gone through yesterday. So I'll share that link across with you in everyone of here after the session. Okay. And we have also discussed on what are all the different types of roles we have. So we have three different types of basic self-service roles here. So which is employee, line manager, and human resource specialist. And just give me 1 minute. Just a minute. All right. I hope my voice is clear enough, right? There was some network fluctuation here. Is my voice is clear for you guys?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so these were on a high level, which we have different types of roles. So this could be some interview questions which you might get in the interviews, like what are all the different types of roles we have, and also which roles can be assigned to the users and which are not, assigned to the users. So you should be able to understand these terminologies very clearly. Then only you will be able to understand or explain the interview, right? So I'll just give you a high level of what exactly the types and the significance behind it. Okay. So we have abstract role, job role, duty, and the data role. And let me put up this Word document which I have sent. So let's talk about the abstract roles very quickly. So abstract roles represent a worker's role in the enterprise. So independently of the job that worker is hired to do. So which means, let's say I'm an employee, I'm a payroll manager in the system, right? In ABC, in ABC Solutions, I got hired myself as payroll manager. But when it comes to the abstract role, employee role is one of the abstract role which is assigned to me, irrespective of what is the work that I'm doing in the company, right? I could be a payroll manager or I could be a vice president or anything. But first thing is I am an employee in the system, right? So employee role is something which is called abstract role. That is nothing to do with what kind of work that I'm doing. So similarly, I could be a line manager or reporting manager for some of the people, right? Maybe Ravi, Amit, and Harish are reporting to me. I could be a manager for these three people, which means there is this role called line manager. So which is also an abstract role. That is also irrespective of what is the work that I'm doing. And there is this one last thing, which is called contingent worker. You can see, right? There are three different abstract roles we have. So employee, line manager, and contingent worker. So these three roles are being given to the people irrespective of what is the job that they are exactly doing in the company. Okay. Now let's understand what is the job role here. So job role aligns with the job that a worker is hired to perform. As I said, I am a payroll manager, right? So payroll manager is something which we can create it as a job role. Okay. And here we're just picking them examples of human resource analyst and payroll manager are examples of some, Oracle delivered job roles. Okay. So typically you include job roles with data roles and assign those data roles to the users. And the reason behind this we have discussed yesterday. See, I could be a payroll manager right now. Maybe my company is operating in 10 different countries, right? So India, US, UK, Dubai, UAE, different countries. But maybe I might be dealing only for the US population. So at that time, so we can't just give the job role, which is payroll manager, to myself, where I might be able to access every employee's information, like in every country. So we can't do that. So that is where the security is going to play the major role. So you have to ensure that you are creating a proper data roles, which means this particular role will define what kind of data that I can access in the system, right? So my job role is payroll manager, but my data role should be payroll manager India or payroll manager US. So that particular data role will be assigned to me, not the job role directly. So this is very important for you to understand the difference on why we don't assign job roles and why we assign only data roles. Okay. Because you need to ultimately provide that proper data access in the system, which maintains the security across the entire application. Okay. So that is why we are saying, so typically you include the job roles with data roles and assign those data roles to the users. Okay. Then the IT security manager and application implementation consultant job roles are exceptions because they are not considered HCM job roles and do not restrict data using some HCM security profiles. Don't worry about these terminologies here. So we just have two different roles, which is IT security manager and application implementation consultant. So these two are like admin roles. So we don't need any data access for these things. So you can directly assign these so that the people who have these roles, they can access the entire application, like the top level admin people, right? So that is on a high level about the job role, and pretty much we covered the data role in it. So it's nothing but it's a combination of job role along with what kind of data that person can access. So it could be the US information, UK information. See, it need not to be only the country, right? Maybe even inside the country, let's say inside the India, I should be able to access only for the Bangalore population because that's how even the current companies are being maintained, right? So let's say for India, we have 1,000 employees, or let's say 10,000 employees. So one person can't maintain all the 10,000 employees, right? They might be segregated into different cities again, like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Noida, like all these things. So for every city that company is being operated, there could be a different person who is responsible for it. So at that time, you can also try to restrict based on that particular location access. Okay, so different types of things are available in the data roles. But from a theoretical standpoint, what you have to understand, so this is a role which will get created to make sure that the data is properly accessed by only that responsible person, not by everyone else. So now the next thing. So duty roles and privileges. So duty role, basically the data role aligns with the individual duties that user performs as a part of their job, but it's not assigned to the user directly. So if you understand at a high level, only abstract roles and data roles are being assigned to the users directly. Okay, so we're going to see the real-time scenarios, how it works. But job roles and duty roles are not assigned to the users directly because, so we understood why job roles are not assigned, right? Because that might give the access to the entire country's data or the whole, all over the application. So we don't want to risk that. So similarly, so even the duty roles. So duty role might say that I'll be able to hire an employee in the system, right? I'll be able to create a contract in the system. But sometimes you might need to also restrict some of the duties for that person. See, I might be able to hire an employee, but let's say there is a policy in my organization that I should not be able to terminate any employee. I can't do that. So at that time, these duty roles will play a major role. So where you have to combine these duties into the data roles itself. So job duty will be combined into the data roles and that will be assigned to the user. So it could be slightly confusing for you guys, but if you go through the theoretical descriptions here, so it might be a little easy for you to understand on how exactly it works. Also the practical training that you will do in the application. Okay. So this is on a high level how exactly these things works. Because see, when you log into the application, whatever that you see on the home page or the navigations, everything is controlled through the roles. That is the reason why we are initially learning about user concept as well as role concept. Okay. So any questions so far till here? Okay. All right. So just moving ahead. Now let me go into the application. That we kind of covered this slide as well. So I'll go on to this application, and this is the application that I was referring to where you have to log in and create your own users. So let me do a fresh sign in and just sign out. Okay. So this is how the login page looks like. So you can try to log in using your own users after you create them. So after that, so let me go to a section called tools. So this is where we have a tile which is security console under which the complete security related information is being maintained. So which means you can create a user, you can create a role, or you can even assign the different roles to your user. So all these kind of different things can be carried out here. So let me go to the user and search for the user which I have created yesterday. I think I did create Abhishek's login yesterday. Yeah, this one. So I did created this yesterday. So let me open. And if you see, there are no roles assigned in the below section. So it's blank. Now let me show you after signing into Abhishek's login first. And we'll see how that application looks like. Okay. So it got me to the home page, and pretty much you can't, like, there are no major actions that Abhishek can perform here. Something is tools and other section, which is also not completely relevant to this person, right? Now let's try to provide a role to Abhishek and see how this access, get differentiates or varies from the existing login, right? Let's try to understand that. So I'll go back here and I'll do the edit. And when you do the edit, you'll get this add role option.
Okay, so Pawan, whenever any instance is given, so for the first time, like there would be one administrative account kind of thing, right? Which will be having all the access. And
Exactly.
from there, yeah.
Yes. So even the login that you are seeing, that what I'm using it here, right? So this is the one which I have created.
Okay.
And this is like an admin login where I can create a user or I can play with kind of admin level transactions.
But let's say that while you are creating, so how all this admin access, how the you can give it to yourself? I mean,
Initially, there was one other login which is called admin login. I'll tell you that as well. So you don't need to assign all the roles one by one. So you can actually replicate a user who is an admin already. You can replicate the same user access to yourself. I'll show you how that is. Okay.
so okay, so is that a manual process or is there a feature like we can directly replicate the user?
It's a manual thing only, but that doesn't take much of a time for you to replicate. See,
Okay. Okay.
even I can show you for the Abhishek's login itself right now, right? See, when I do the add role, instead of role,
Pawan, instead of before going to that, I have one more question, which runs running in my mind. You created Abhishek user, right? So how that Abhishek login credentials will get to know him? Does he get any a mail or like something like that to create himself? Like how the initial setup he can do it. You got my point. How Abhishek will get these details, like user details, to log into the system?
can see it, right? So,
No, your voice is breaking.
and
We cannot hear you. Yeah, nothing is coming.
okay, what about now? Is it better?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
better.
now we can hear you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So what I was saying, so that's a good question, because let's say Abhishek is coming into the company, and in order to access this application, Abhishek might not know what is the user credential that he has to use for the login. That was your question.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what will happen? Abhishek would have got the Outlook access, like his ABC Solutions, at abcsolutions@gmail.com, something like that, right?
Mm.
That particular login he would have got. So there
Mm.
is something called single sign-on in Oracle Fusion. So when you enable, basically this is enabled for most of the applications. So where
Mm.
employee need not to provide the username and password, but they can connect the application to their Outlook and log in using that. Okay, that's need not to have anything to do with the user account here. See, I'll just open this. Maybe I can show you something else from my existing application. Then it's easy for you to understand. So this is one of my current client that I'm working on, and the option which you are seeing it here, company single sign-on, right? So this is something, this button will work for all the users based on their Outlook access. See, right now I don't give this username and password, but I can still log in using my Outlook access. So I'll just click on this. So that will redirect me to this one, to my Outlook. Okay, where I can just click on my particular Outlook access. like that particular
Okay.
company's email access. So with that, I'll be able to directly get into the application. So you can see it's directly logging me in. So this is how it works. So employee
Okay.
don't need to worry about what is the password for it, as long as that person know what is the password for their Outlook. Okay. So that is
So
one.
single sign-on. So single
Hmm.
sign-on means like in one click, like we can directly log in. That's what it implies.
Exactly, in one click. So as long as this Windows system is connected to their Outlook access, like Infosys.com or IBM.com, right? So that will take them to their login directly, but they have to ensure the same Outlook email is given into this user's email as well. So that is how exactly it connects with each other.
Okay,
But
that's how they will
the
also get the notification. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
but the user role will be defined by the HR department, right? Whoever going to have that. Like if he is going to log in via like as you said, right? Microsoft single sign-on.
Single sign-on.
So like which role, like the role needs to be assigned by existingly, right? The user
I'll tell
is
you how
on.
exactly that happens as well. So if
Yeah.
someone is getting hired into the system as an employee, so employee role will get auto-assigned to that particular employee. So that role will get auto-assigned. No need someone to manually enroll that person into the employee role, because there is a concept called auto provisioning of roles. Okay. So that particular kind of concept is applicable for all the companies where they would have set it up already. So if employee is getting hired, employee role is a basic role which will get auto-assigned. So same way, if that person is hiring as a manager, is getting hired as a manager, line manager role will get auto-assigned. No need of someone manually coming here and assigning that role to that person. So whenever that person logs in, automatically that particular access would already be available into that. So no manual intervention is basically required at that point. So we'll come to that concept as well. We are going to talk
Okay.
about auto provisioning of rules as well. Okay.
Got it, bro.
Yeah. Yes, Vinay, go ahead. You're saying something.
Yeah, I mean the meaning like automatically assigned means like their entry would be created in the SCM module. That's how it will be assigned, right? It will be checking what is their
Exactly.
details. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there will be some sort of actions, like for example, if you see this particular document. So abstract role, whatever we're talking about, employees abstract role, right? So these
Yeah.
abstract roles are assigned to the user automatically when some event occurs, like hire an employee, terminate an employee, or promoting an employee, right? So whenever someone
Yeah.
do this in the system, automatically that employee role will get auto assigned.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how it works. Right now, Abhishek's employee record is not available in the system. So we just created a user. So that is the reason we are manually enrolling the roles. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me show you the other thing as well. Let's say Abhishek is not only an employee, we want to make this person as an admin, which means whatever this particular login is having the access, like implementation user, right? Whatever that we have logged in. So same access, if we need to replicate to Abhishek, what you have to do? So click on add role, and instead of roles, you can search for the users here. Yeah. So, and then you can search for the username. So right now, so implementation user, right? So when you search that, so this particular user will get popped up. And when you say add role membership from user, it will automatically assign all the roles. Like, see, there were 18 roles which are there for this particular person. And when you click on OK and done, that's it. See, all the roles which are already existing for this particular person, implementation user, are given to Abhishek. So, but if you don't want that and you just wanted to have some like basic roles assigned, you just need to manually do that. Like take this all roles. You can actually do remove all roles as well, which will take out everything. And then start assigning one particular role. Let's say I just wanted to give employee role here, right? So when you search that, you can see there is a role coming up here, which is called Aura per employee abstract. So the name itself says it's an abstract role. So click on that and click on add role membership. So when you do that, let me just put this side up. So employee role gets added up, and then you have to just save and close. That's it. You can click on done. Now what we will do, we'll just try to sign out from Abhishek's login and then sign in again. See, understand the difference. Just try to remember what exactly the current access is. And when we sign out, and then try to sign in again using the Abhishek's login. Okay, so let me see if that role, whatever that we have added, is already processed. We sign out and then try to sign in again, because this browser applications, due to some cache and stuff, sometimes it kinds of lags in between. So we need to ensure that we are giving the proper time to it so that it works automatically. Yeah, it's actually coming up over here, but still there will be a me section the way that you're seeing it here. Let's just go to the home page. When I do the left scroll, so there is something called me section, right? So this me section is nothing but it's completely related to this particular login employees information. Let's say I'm Pawan Kumar, right? So if I logged in using my login, pawan.kumar, and some password using that. So everything comes up under the me section is related to my own information. Like this is my personal information and anything to do with my timesheets or my salary information, my learning. So everything related to the employee self-service. So this is where we spoke about a concept called employee self-service, right? So employee will be able to see everything about themselves under this me section. Okay. I'll just give a last try and see how this works. Okay. This seems not reflecting so far, but I think we can try different browsers and make sure that it's reflecting here. So basically you'll be able to see me section coming up over here. That is what we are expecting. Let me just go back to security console. Okay. So similar to this, we can even add other roles like line manager and human resource specialist. So based on that, the access, whatever that you're seeing it on the UI here, will keep on getting varied. Okay. Let me see if I can pick some existing employee and show you that access. Yeah, so there is this person, Curtis Fetty. So basically this person have multiple roles already available. Okay. So, but that's how you can actually add some of the roles to the existing logins so that the kind of access will get keep on varied to that. Okay. Now let me go back here and we'll try to understand if we need to modify some of the existing roles so that whatever the policies that particular company might be having, so that gets matched accordingly. See, right now, whatever the roles that you are seeing it in the system, all are delivered roles by Oracle. So it's like global access, right? So let me open this particular employee role. And the navigation, what you're seeing it here, we are currently in the user section. But you can go back to the roles and you can search for the existing roles here. Let's say that we want to understand and kind of modify the existing employee role. Okay. So can you see the classification here? When I search with the name employee, we are having some of the job roles. So duty roles, abstract, and some of the other roles, what you're seeing it here. But let's pick up the abstract role because employee is an abstract role, which we wanted to modify. Let's understand that's as a requirement. Okay. So let me open this. So you can see this employee is the name of the role and this is the code for it. And description is identifies the person as an employee. And all these are different internal roles which are available for this particular role. So when you click on this drop down, there are 4 different actions available. Okay. So one is edit role, by using which you can edit the existing role. Second is copy. So which means if you don't want to disturb the existing and just do a complete replica and then modify that, yes, you can do a copy of that and then you can modify the copied version, not the delivered version. So then there is something called compare roles. So compare roles is nothing but let's understand like, there is a delivered role right now, which you are seeing it here, which is given by Oracle. And also there is something called custom role as well for the employee. Maybe someone would have already created that. So maybe that particular custom role might be having the restriction of the access. Because see, right now some companies would be allowing employees to modify their personal information, right? Some companies would not be allowing to modify their permanent address, present address. They might not allow that particular feature. So based on those kind of requirements, so custom roles would have got created by removing those editing of the access of the address or work email address or few other stuff, right? But the thing is, I came into the company as a new HCM consultant. I don't know what exactly this new role is doing. So at the time, what I can do, I can actually compare the roles. So I can compare the delivered role with the custom role, which is what is newly created, and then I can try to understand the difference between those two. So then it will be clear for me on what exactly the kind of restriction was done for the employee role when we compare with the delivered one, right? So this is not majorly used, I would say, but you can just make this as a useful feature whenever there is a need. So other one, what you're having it here is a simulate navigator, right? So let me click on this and show you what exactly it does. So whatever that I'm explaining right now is mainly from a theoretical standpoint, which you need to know, because this roles concept is not something which is being worked on by many of the people, many of the consultants in the starting of their career. Because if you're like 2 to 3 years of experience, sometimes you would not even have got the chance to work on these sort of features or roles concept, because it's something which will be dealt, by someone who is at a senior position or senior consultant. Okay, but from theoretical standpoint, yes, you should be understanding all these concepts, what I'm explaining right. So we just entered into something called simulate navigator. So this might looks like, different colors and so technical stuff, but this is not that kind of thing. So it's only giving you all the pages which are available in Oracle right now. For example, let's try to see the me section. It must be somewhere here. Yeah, see. So this is a me section under which we have all these different types of pages. So let's understand currently there is a requirement in the company that employees should not be able to see this particular time and absences type. Okay. So which means first thing what you have to understand. So what is this time and absences and how I can restrict the access? In what way I can restrict the access? So for that purpose, so you can use this option called simulate navigator, and you can get inside and you can find that particular one which you want to restrict. And then when you click on that, so there are 2 different options which will be provided. So one is that view roles that grant access, view privileges required for this option. So let's understand these 2 things. Let me open the first one. So this time and absences access is given in all these different types of roles. So employee role will be having this access, RM role, M role, contingent worker, and some other role. So all these 5 different roles are having this particular tile available. Okay. Now the other thing. So view privileges required for this method. So privileges is nothing but the kind of duty roles, I would say, right? So whenever you open that, so there'll be something called access by time and absences. So this is a kind of privilege or the duty role which is given to the job roles or the abstract roles. So by using which this access will be provided to the employees. But right now, what is the requirement for us to restrict this access? Okay. So first thing what you have to understand what exactly is providing this access so that we can delete this from the existing roles. So let me just copy access my time and absences. And then I'll just close. Then I'll close this because we know what is that particular access which is giving the time and absences section. So now what I need to do, so it's always suggestible that you don't modify the existing roles, delivered roles given by Oracle. Always try to copy this role so that the delivered one won't get disturbed. And then you can just go with this copy top role and inherited roles as well. Like everything will get copied, whatever is there in the delivered one. And then do a quick copy role option here. So when you do that, yes, some additional alphabets will come in. Maybe we can just say that, let's say ABC solutions custom employee role. So this is a custom that where we are modifying from the existing delivered ones. So that way you can do, and also you can just copy this and provide in the role code as well, right? And this role category will come in from the delivered ones itself. So which you don't need to worry. So we are just given our own custom name, custom code as well. Now let's go to the next section. Okay. And then see if you see this like access competition page, fees directory, and there are many quick actions like access which is available for this. So there is something called access my time and absences as well here, and what you can see it. So this is the particular tile which we have to restrict from the employees login. So what you need to do here, as the company's requirement is to take out this, first thing is what you have done by using the simulate navigator. So you have figured out what exactly is giving the access, what privilege is giving the access. So after figuring out that, so you have to try to copy this role so that you won't disturb the existing ones. And then you can actually delete from this particular page. So you're about to delete the access my time and absences privilege from the role. Do you want to continue? Yes. So when you do that, that particular access would have gone. And the next thing what you have to do, go to next. So let's go back one step and try to see if there is something available here as well. So there is nothing related to the time and absences. I'll just search it like this. So there's nothing. I'll just moving on. Next. I'll search it here as well. So there's nothing. And then that's pretty much is what we have. And see, whenever you are doing a copy and modifying that particular role, if you want to assign the user directly to that role, you can even do that from this page itself. Let's say I want to have Abhishek Kumar assigned to that particular role. I can do it from directly here also. And then go to next, then submit it twice.
On.
Yes.
If we modify the roles, like you said, right, there is a role which you updated it, like to
Yes.
restrict the user. So
Mhm.
if you do that, does it impact the existing employees and also the other users which is having this employee role?
It will impact obviously. See, whatever let's assume that this employee role, whatever that we have modified, is already
Mhm.
given to 1,000 people.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So every time when they are going to log in into the system, that particular login will always look for the latest access available in those roles. It's not like
Okay.
one standard login, you will have the same access every time. It will try
Okay.
to refresh every time whenever there is a change happens in the role.
Okay.
Okay, because it's a web-based, right? So every time when you log in, it will try to refresh and get the latest info always.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Got it. Got it. Yeah. That's what I wanted to know.
Perfect. But right now, what we are doing here is we are not modifying anything in the existing. We are only creating a copy and then modifying that, right? This will not have any impact in the delivered roles. So
Mhm.
if you assign this custom role to all the people, yes, then there will be an impact. Okay. But that's a good thing. That's exactly how it works. And see, you're trying to search for this like ABC solutions. So initially when I was searching, it wasn't coming up because it's still getting created under this administration thing. So when I go to role status, right? Let me show you the latest one would be this ABC solutions. See, so it was saying still processing. Let me refresh. So it should get completed so that this particular role will kind of work effectively for the users. I'll just refresh. Yes, so now it's completed. So we can go back to the roles and then search for the same role here, which is say ABC Solutions, right? So ABC Solutions custom employee. And then you can start using this particular role to different users. So right now, if you want to see how many users are being assigned for this role, so you can actually expand towards privileges. Instead of privileges, you can make it to users. Then you can see it directly here. So yeah, show users. Then you can see only one person is being assigned to this particular role. Okay. Now let's try to log in and see how it. So even right now, we need to see whether it works correctly or not. Let me see if I can log in using a different browser so that it works that way. Okay, so we'll just try to log in using the Abhishek's login. So it's taking me to the analytics page, which will come before the home page, and then we can get into the home page. Let me click on this. Yeah, so this is what I was telling about, that the browser applications, this web applications sometimes have this cache stuff. So which will take some time to reflect the changes what we have done in the system. So initially what we have done, we have given the employee role, but still we were not able to see this me section in the other browser, what we are seeing it here, right? You can still see there's nothing coming up. So, but right now what you can see is the me section, which is coming up with all the employee related information. Because see, right now for Abhishek, we have only given the employee access, which means this person can only see, themselves, like their own information, not anyone else's, like this person is not a manager or this person is not a HR, right? Whatever comes up under the me section, everything related to this person's own information, right? So right now, Abhishek is not an employee, but still we are just playing with the roles here. So if we just try to open this. Yeah. So pretty much you can't see anything because right now this person was just created as an user. This person is not an employee, right? So what I can do, I can just show you the difference between just a user and an employee in the system. Okay. Now let's try to find this guy who is called Curtis Fetty. So let me open. So when you open, there is something called person number and manager for this person, job, business unit, and so many other things, right? Person number is 101. So it's like this person is created as an employee in the system. Okay. So let me just take this username and reset the password. Now, now let me show you the difference of, see that this is how the Curtis Fetty user account looks like with complete information of worker name, person number, manager, and everything. But when you look into Abhishek's login, Abhishek's user account, this doesn't give you this complete information. So when you open this, so you can't see anything in the right side here, right? So you can just see the username, first name, email, and that basic information because This person is just an user in the system, not an employee, who got created. So that is the difference. Now let me try to log in into Curtis Fetis so that we can observe what is the difference between these two logins. Okay, so we'll just try to log in now. Okay. So yes, this person is particularly, more like an admin person. So you can see pretty much every access that is available in the system. But let's focus on only the me section. Because right now what we are dealing here is mainly about the employee role, which means self-information, which will come only under the me section. So when we have gone into Abhishek's login, we can't see anything under me section here, right? Let me just go back here. And whenever I try to access any of the tile under me section, there's nothing which is coming up because there's no personal information as such stored for Abhishek because this person is not an employee. But when you go into Curtis Fetty, who is this particular user, let me open the personal information. All right, so you can see whenever we open an employee's personal information from me section, so you kind of see the view like this. Maybe if they have a photo, what you can see it on this icon here. So the photo and then their personal details, contact info. Let's open this and see what is available right now. All right, so what I can see here is the name and some demographic information, and then we have some national identifiers, their social security number, right? There are different sort of personal information what we can store in HCM. So this is what we are initially discussing, that what an ERP tool can store against a person. Pretty much stores every basic information from basic to their extended salary information. Everything can be captured here into different modules. And this is one of the page into the core HR where it stores the employee's personal details. So along with that, there are different other tools like tiles as well, like contact info, where you can see the phone details, email details, and address, all these things. So this is what an employee login looks like. And whatever that we are seeing in the Abhishek's login, that's just an user accounts login. Okay. So any confusion so far with this employee role, what we are discussing here? Are you able to understand the difference between a normal user and an employee user? Okay. Taking that as yes. So right now we only dealt with the employee role, and we will try to have line manager and HR specialist roles to be discussed in our next session so that you can at least see. Right now we are just dealing with the me section, which is basically for the employees, right? But there is something called my team. So which is mainly for the managers. So the name itself says it's my team related information, right? So Curtis Fetty could be a manager for multiple people. If I just open this tile, my team, I'll be able to understand for how many people Curtis Fetty is a manager. So as you can see here, for all these 4 different people, so Curtis Fetty is the manager. Sue Eden, Hope Hightower, Halle Justus, and then Carly Lavin, right? So if Curtis want to view any of the information, he can just click on these 3 icons and then like go into different sort of actions which are available here. So let's say that if he wants to kind of go through the personal information which is available. Okay, so they can go to the personal information and see what's available for this, I think, Sue Eden, something. Yeah, Sue Eden, right? So what is this person's home address, primary mailing, and work phone? So different sort of information is available for the manager also to see that, so that whenever there is a need, he can actually access this info and will try to reach out or do some kind of any helpful with that information. Okay, that's how a manager login looks like, and he can even try to change the manager. Right now, Curtis is a manager for this person. If he wants to change the manager for this person from Curtis to someone else, he can actually use this particular action to do that. Okay. But to be frank, right, so majority of these actions are not given to the manager because manager can't change the location of an employee. And also manager can't, do some of the transactions like terminating this employee, like transferring this employee, termination. So these actions are not given to the managers in a real-time companies. So this is a delivered role, which is basically have the complete access. So whenever you get into a company, you will not see that manager is performing all these things, the real projects. Okay. We'll get into the HR login in our next session. So right now, I just want to focus mainly on the employee access and how the basically roles concept works. So we'll try to have our next session focused mainly on the line manager access as well as HR specialist and few other concepts in the roles. So initially, I just want to focus the first three sessions mainly on these two concepts so that it's get very easy for us to go for the next topics and help us understand that complete core HR and absence concepts. So that is it what I have planned for this session. So any questions so far about the concept of roles or anything whatever we have discussed? Ravi, you have anything?
No.
Okay.
Sir, no, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. All right.
Thank you.
So if first thing what I would suggest, so if anyone has
Sir.
missed any of the sessions like yesterday and day before, so try to go through the recorded sessions which will be available. So I think Tirupati can circulate with you. Also make sure that you are getting into the application by getting that application access and creating your own user. So make sure that you are replicating the admin access. So I have shown you, right? So how, in what way can actually replicate? So you can just go to this, adding the roles. Like, let me just try to edit and add role and search for the users. You don't need to add one by one role and search for my login itself. Like, so implementation user, click on that and click on this add role membership from the user. So whatever the roles available for this person, you'll be able to get that all the 18 roles. So with that way, you'll get the admin access. Okay. So try to create your own users and make sure by our next session, which will happen on Monday in the evening. So you have your own logins and also, so we can start performing some of the case studies. Okay. That makes sense for everyone.
Hello, Pawan.
Yes, Amit.
Yeah, I have a little can we change the timing for this lectures? Like,
We
will
can
can
discuss
can
that.
be in morning?
So only reason why we have shifted from morning to evening is because of my current project, which is ongoing for the US client. So which will
Oh.
actually take my little bit extra time in the late nights. So which we are unable to have it in the mornings. But we'll try to have this discussed because I also wanted to discuss with everyone on this.
Yeah. Okay,
Right. So,
not an issue. I asked because there are also a lot of disturbance. Like I can't attend lecture
I
like peacefully,
understand.
when
I get the point.
yeah,
Yeah.
when my siblings come from job and all these things is going on.
Okay. Siblings
It is
issue. I
not
understand.
able
I
to
totally get
concentrate.
that.
Yeah, that's the issue. No problem.
Okay.
Just let me know like there will be change in timings. Till the time we'll
Yes.
change
Yes.
this timing. Okay.
I'll talk to you individually. I'll try to understand your timings and availability so
Yeah.
that based on that, we'll fix something. Okay.
Sure, Pawan. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Pawan,
Good
sir.
to know that. Yes, Ravi.
Sir, for me, sorry, Amit, sir. For me, this
Yeah.
is correct time, sir. Why? Because I'm leaving for my office in the early in the morning, 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So where I am staying in Dubai.
Oh,
So
nice. You're
six
staying in
o'clock
Dubai.
means it's time in 4:30 in India.
Yeah.
So is it not? It is not possible to attend in the morning session. But this is
Okay.
also I'm attending this session
Hmm.
in my journey time from
Okay.
office to my home.
Okay. I'll
So
do
this
one thing,
time
Ravi.
is
I understand your concern as well. So I'll just, as I said, I'll try to connect with each one of you individually. I'll get some of the available slots, like comfortable slots. And based on that, we'll try to fix one thing. Okay.
okay, sir.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other concerns before we wrap this session? Okay. Harish did drop off.
This one is about fusion functional, right?
Exactly. Fusion functional is something that we have started for the core HR module. So we'll gradually take this up for
Yeah, but
absence as well.
before we were started were about this technical, right? Means fusion technical. So is
No,
there
we
any
haven't
like
started that. So.
pardon?
No, we haven't started the technical thing so far.
Oh, but if okay. So when we going start with that? Any idea?
I'll tell you. See, first thing, if you want to learn the technical, you should definitely have the understanding on the functional concepts. Then only you
Oh,
can work on the technical thing. So that
okay.
will only start after we are finishing the functional concepts. That might take around at least a month of a time, I would say. By the end of January, we'll be kind of having a control on the functional things. Then we can start the technical.
Oh, okay, okay. Done. Sure. Okay,
Perfect.
Pawan. Yeah, thank you.
More or less. Okay, I think we are exactly at the top of the hour. So we can wrap the session up for today. So anyway, we have 2 more days over the weekend, which we are not having any of the sessions. So I suggest you take a walkthrough on the application, go through different tiles, what are all the available things over there. So try to play with that around so that you'll feel a little bit comfortable with the navigations and stuff. And then we can dive into the real time, the kind of concepts and everything. That works for everyone? Okay, I'm taking that as yes. And then I'm wrapping this up right now. Okay, see you all again Monday. We have a good weekend, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah.